Hi, Ana.
Aloha, Tanya. How are you?
I'm good. I'm having a lot of fun.
I am too. Well, I'm learning a lot about
How horrible everything is, but how hypocritical everything is.
That is it. And what our little Democratic busy bees are up to.
Okay, so today I want to talk about Alcee Hastings.
Alcee Hastings, who is the head honcho in another little paradise in a place called Florida.
It is another paradise.
Yeah, he's up to some frightening things, actually.
Okay, well, some hypocritical things for sure. So here's HR 231 on congress.gov, celebrating the importance of the 15th anniversary of the Arab Peace Initiative as a meaningful effort by Arab countries to the commitment of peace in the Middle East.
Peace in the Middle East.
Peace in the Middle East, introduced 3/27,
3/27.
a couple weeks before we bombed Syria.
And it's not even. It's
not
so
even
ridiculous.
The other countries were already at war with her.
But I mean, there's some pieces of this that I think I would like to say out loud because it's. I want to make sure that I'm not in a nightmare or an altered reality.
We're in an altered reality
When I read this,
okay.
Right? Urges the State of Israel, the Palestinian Authority, and regional Arab and Muslim majority countries to engage in bilateral, multilateral negotiations to advance Israeli-Palestinian peace process and to support normalization in relationship with the State of Israel. Supports the efforts of regional Arab and Muslim majority countries to strengthen regional security, cooperation, and stability through discussions with the State of Israel.
Of course.
Resolved that the House of, and this is all that what our House of Representatives, I don't know what business it is of theirs. What?
We're in everyone's business.
Why? Well, I mean, if the Arab, I don't know how this ended up being something that's going.
It's a priority when we didn't have a clean election last year.
Well, and are Israel and Arab states passing resolutions to make sure that we normalize relationships with other countries?
Maybe if they do, so we'll actually have done.
But here, whereas a lasting two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is essential to achieving long-term peace and security in the Middle East. A two-state solution?
A two-state solution. Well,
Didn't they have that when
They
this
had that.
all started after World War II? Israel had their, which actually, I'm going to say it because it's what I feel is the truth, that was given to Israel. And it was declared its own nation. That was not there before that. That was part of Palestine, right? So they couldn't leave well enough alone then.
No. But what I find really hypocritical is Alcee Hastings, 2.5 months earlier, sponsored and introduced House Joint Resolution 10 to authorize the use of the United States Armed Forces to achieve the goal of preventing Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons. The title of the bill is Authorization of Use of Force Against Iran.
Right.
And then 2.5 months later,
comes up with
let's
reinforce
celebrate the
peace plan.
15th anniversary of peace.
Right.
I mean, this is talking out of both sides, and we want to do whatever it takes to ensure that Iran does not obtain nuclear weapons.
However, we want peace.
We want peace, but don't we have nuclear weapons?
Doesn't Israel have nuclear weapons?
Nuclear weapons? We're like the largest or second largest nuclear power in the world. I don't know. I guess we trust ourselves with not pressing that button more than anybody else. I don't trust the people that we've entrusted. Anyway, that's just insane. And so let's look at Alcee Hastings on Open Secrets.
So now that we have, and these are not the only bills that I found that relate to his support of the issues in the Middle East, particularly surrounding the State of Israel. So Israel is the benefiting the country that's benefiting from the bills that he's putting through.
Well, if you follow the money, let's look at Alcee Hastings, who is a
number two donor, pro-Israel,
industry donor,
yes,
pro-Israel. Just after lawyers and law firms. So that explains a lot
of why he has two or prominent ones, 2 or 3, and then there were more in there, but I just didn't go through all of them. And I just again want to state, it's why is the United States in the middle of this? Why is the United States mentioned as one of the stakeholders in these issues between these countries in the Middle East? Because
it keeps us focused on the belief that we're not the bullies, that the terror is all out there, and all of these issues are out there, when really a lot of our problems are right here domestically.
Right.
Got homelessness. We don't treat people equanimity at all. Let's not even go there. We're talking about war.
this is what plants the seeds of war, this kind of nonsense.
We live in a war culture, folks.
Yeah.
We live in a war culture. So if you're worried about living in a violent culture, living in a rape culture, living in an anti-woman culture, all of those are results of living in a war culture that is perpetuated by the people in Congress. They want us to think that everybody else is out to get us, but I don't see a lot of how they're helping us.
Now, and one other one before we go on, because this one was submitted 2/16, same guy, Alcee Hastings. That bill that you talked about, that we initially talked about, with giving the president the power to strike Iran, what is extremely dangerous. And for a Democrat, as much as they're screaming about how insane Donald Trump is, I don't feel that. I'm not taking that position, but to give him that unfettered power, then what were you thinking? Because that was right, that was after the election.
January 3rd, they knew Donald Trump was coming into office.
And you gave him this unfettered power to attack another country. So, hello, what are you thinking, Democratic Party?
Well, it just proves that they're really two wings on the same bird.
Right.
Everyone knew that the Obama administration was passing, the keys to the, secret closet.
Right, and the button, he's going to have his fingers on the button. Well, he has the fingers on the button, and now he has the bill that makes it possible.
Right, exactly.
Handed to him by a Democrat. But the one other one, and then we can move on, is this condemning Palestinian incitement and reaffirming the special bond between Israel, and the United States.
I love you, Israel.
I love you too.
And I'm not saying that I'm anti-Semitic or anything.
I'm not
like
either.
That. We're just saying.
But why are we drafting this? So here's a few things that I think are just ridiculous. Condemns incitement and acts of violence against Israeli citizens. Why doesn't it cover all the citizens of both sides? Just condemn the acts of violence. Why are we creating the Israeli people as a special group that needs our attention when the Palestinian people are undergoing just as much violence?
Can we condemn incitement and acts of violence against
just universally, right? How about our own citizens?
About people of color,
right? And one of them that
country
I found really disturbing. So it goes on to talk about that and incitement of Palestinian. But this is what I feel I caught in here was Palestinian Authority President Abbas to publicly. Now they're telling the Palestinian Authority to publicly condemn incitement and acts of violence against Israeli citizens and to discontinue incitement in Palestinian Authority-controlled media.
Hey, President, I'm going to take your lunch money if you don't do this.
Who are they?
We're bullies.
Who is the United States?
This is basically a bully bill.
Well, it's ridiculous to tell that, and he has to do this openly. The international community, controlled media outlets, and the international community to condemn such incitement and acts of violence, express the belief that any chance at lasting peace can only happen through peaceful bilateral discussions and sound consultation. And then it goes on to talk about encourage Israeli-Palestinian cooperation, blah, blah. But then the last one affirms the friendship between Israel and
the United States. Right.
We have to, do we really have to codify this?
Well, we do in HR 68.
This is just ridiculous.
Thanks to the 115th Congress.
Yeah. Well, thanks to Alcee Hastings, whose number 2 donor is what? Pro-Israeli lobby. This is what he's spending his time doing. This is what the Democrat named Alcee Hastings from Florida is doing.
Wow, we could probably do a whole day of videos on Alcee Hastings looking at his open secrets. But we'll just
but we're going to move on. But I just thought that this was particularly unbelievable.
It's just
hello. All right.
Well, I'm Tanya.
And I'm Ana.
We're the Paradise Patriots.
Paradise Patriots.
Mwah.
We love you. Aloha.
Aloha.